The majestic Buckingham Palace is once again bustling with life as Princess Anne returns home after her hospitalization. This is undoubtedly a joyful moment, not only for her family but for the entire nation. However, an invisible shadow looms behind this event, casting a pall of anxiety and doubt. And that shadow is Camilla, whose presence and behavior once again threaten the already fragile foundations of the royal family. When news of Princess Anne's recovery finally reached the public, there was a moment of relief. Here is a strong and determined woman, back on her feet. But where were Prince Charles and Camilla during this crucial moment? Their casual indifference could not go unnoticed. The warmth and care that Princess Anne needed came only from her closest relatives. Her daughter, her devoted husband Tim Lawrence, and her son Peter Phillips. Camilla, on the other hand, with her cold detachment, seemed to have vanished into thin air during this pivotal moment for the family. Looking back, it's hard not to notice the tense relationship between Camilla and Anne, which has only intensified over the years since Camilla's arrival in the royal family. No amount of polite smiles can hide this icy barrier. Princess Anne's body language, her expression of true feelings, she avoids Camilla as if she brings a storm capable of destroying everything in its path. These painfully awkward scenes at official events, wherein tries to keep her distance and Camilla hides her discomfort behind a forced smile, trying to appear part of a happy family, become all too clear. To Anne, Camilla remains the unwelcome addition to the royal family, a dark horse despite years of effort. Her attempts to win over the family's affection seem futile, as understanding and respect continue to elude her. The history of the relationship between the two women, which began long before Charles and Camilla's wedding, only complicates the situation. Anne's past acquaintance with Camilla's ex-husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, adds another layer of complexity to their current relationship. Camilla seems to go out of her way to demonstrate her efforts to gain respect, but her endeavors often prove fruitless. To Anne, Camilla remains an unwanted addition to the royal family, even years after her marriage to Charles. As seen from the readable emotions at official events, Camilla continues to be the dark horse in Anne's eyes. Some experts believe that her role in the royal family will always be seen as forced, despite her efforts, and, in turn, does everything possible to maintain her dignity and not get drawn into a covert battle for approval and recognition. I would like to remind you that Anne was hospitalized due to a horse riding incident that resulted in a head injury, concussion, and temporary memory loss. The princess could not recall the details of the incident at the moment and continues to recover, and it can be imagined that she did not want to stay in the hospital any longer than necessary. Hospital staff who treated the princess noted that she was constantly trying to get up and go home, but only her family managed to persuade her to follow the doctor's recommendations and stay in the hospital. Nevertheless, just a day later, Anne found herself at home, indicating an improvement in her condition. Had her health been in danger, the medical staff would have insisted on her prolonged stay. The palace confirmed her discharge but emphasized that it is too early to talk about her return to her duties. She is expected to resume her responsibilities in the foreseeable future, once doctors allow her to fully recover. One detail that surprised many is that during her 3-day hospitalization, she was visited by her daughter and husband, but her departure from the hospital went unnoticed. Former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole explained that Anne managed to avoid being photographed while leaving the hospital with her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence. This is quite understandable. Perhaps she still had visible signs of injury, such as bruises, and preferred not to display them publicly, although there is a possibility that this is not the case. While the palace continues to state that they are looking forward to Princess Anne's return, a question arises. Can she ever feel comfortable in close proximity to Camilla? This question remains unanswered. Have you noticed the strained relationship between Camilla and Anne? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to not miss the latest events in the royal family. We will continue with the story. At first, I also thought that Camilla and Anne were even friendly, but the facts suggest otherwise. Princess Anne and Queen Camilla ended up in the same family when the latter decided to marry Anne's older brother, Prince Charles, in 2005. The truth is that these relationships were marked by coldness and distrust. Once again, we turn to body language expert Judy James, who claims that photographs from Charles and Camilla's wedding reveal the true feelings of Anne, as well as her parents, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, towards the new bride. They were clearly not delighted with her presence in the royal family. During the official photos immediately after the ceremony, the Queen and Philip stood with their backs to the couple, preventing any joyful family photos from being taken. There was a clear sense of dissatisfaction, even icy indifference from Anne's side, says James. This behavior persisted later as well. As seen in a photo from June 2005, when Camilla had already been part of the family for 2 months, the expert asserts that Anne deliberately tried to create an impenetrable barrier between herself and Camilla. On the photograph, Anne feels animosity. She stands closer to Charles, pushing Camilla out of the group. Even her elbow demonstrates a gesture of rejection. There is no joy in their eyes, only shadows of gloomy thoughts, added James. Camilla moved forward, nervously smiling at the cameras, while Anne's posture indicated not only discomfort with Camilla's presence, but also her past with her ex-husband. However, instead of showing embarrassment, Anne preferred to display cold disregard for Camilla, much like her mother. Despite everything that had happened, by 2007, the relationship between the women had somewhat improved. They were seen laughing together at joint events. But these were strained smiles and forced interactions, as by this time, according to James, Camilla was trying to prove her worth in the royal family. Although many saw her as merely a hard-working horse trying to fill a place that she may never fully conquer, everything changed on Commonwealth Day this year, showing that Princess Anne has not forgotten old grievances. In Westminster Abbey, a grand ceremony commemorating Commonwealth Day was held, led by Queen Camilla and Prince Charles. Princess Anne and the Duke of Edinburgh, Sophie, joined them. The Duchess of Edinburgh quickly remembered royal etiquette, making a curtsy before Queen Camilla after a quick kiss on the cheek from Her Majesty. Sophie hurried to follow tradition, noticeably bending down quickly before stepping back to give way to her husband, Prince Edward, to greet Camilla. Next, Princess Anne approached, but unlike Sophie, she merely kissed Camilla on the cheek without troubling herself with a curtsy, ignoring the royal protocol that requires bowing to the sovereign and their spouse. The royal family decided to relax formality after the death of Queen Elizabeth II, for example, at events like the Christmas concerts where Kate does not curtsy. However, Princess Anne has never made a curtsy to Camilla in public events since Camilla became Prince Charles's wife in 2005. The protocols regarding curtsies were reviewed, and it was decided that women marrying into the royal family, such as Sophie, Countess of Wessex, should curtsy to Camilla as the heir's spouse. However, if a woman was born into the royal family, there was an exception. If Camilla was with Charles, Princess Anne, Beatrice, and Eugenie would make a curtsy to her. If Camilla was alone, she would not curtsy to them. When Charles became king, Camilla leapfrogged Princess Anne in the royal hierarchy, but public curtsies from and to Camilla were still not seen. Even with Charles as king, time will tell whether peace and harmony will be restored within these high walls, where the glittering sheen of palace life hides shadows of coldness and carefully concealed antipathy. But one thing is clear: Camilla, with her icy heart and hidden resentment, continues to be a dark stain on the gleaming crown of the British monarchy. If you enjoyed this article and want to learn more about the behind-the-scenes life of the British royal family, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't miss out on new, engaging materials and hot discussions. Your support inspires us to create even more interesting content.